Hello everyone, welcome. For those of you new here, this is part 3 of my color along. We are working out of Teresa Goodridge's book, Wish You Were Here. I am using Prismacolors, but you can color match me or do your own thing, whatever you wish. I do or will have an album in my Facebook group if you'd like to share, or you're also welcome to tag me, Instagram or anywhere that works for you. So this video, part 1 was kind of the background in the orangish building. 2 was my purple flowers and my bricks and this pillar. 3, we're going to hop into some greens. So we're going to introduce another color tonight. So we're going to work on some dark greens up here. We're going to get this nice pretty pool in, and then we'll go from there and see how much time we have. So first things first, I'm going to pull you in a little, and let's get this big tree here out of the way first. Okay, so I did pull darker for this tree just because it's kind of up in the corner and it's a lot more leafy, so I feel like it would be a darker color. Again, if you are going for accuracy, I am not a botanist. I don't know my plants and trees. I am going for aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So, this tree, I'm going to go avocado green. This is a pale green, but it's a scholar, so I think if you are using regular Prismacolor, it is spring green or apple green, whichever you prefer, and grass green. I'm going to sharpen these a little. I apologize, I thought I had all my sets sharpened before I started. Okay, so with the way, I'm also going to pull in a little. So with the way this tree lays, my goal here is going to be to make it look like these center pieces here are darker. And that is not my dark green. And this is a really tiny pencil. So dark green here. And I'm just going to kind of do that to all of them so I can see where my darks are. I'm also going to do this where they're kind of overlapping a little. Now if you want to go one branch at a time, that is perfectly fine. But as far as highlights and things go, this kind of helps me. Like, I know I'm going to want the tips of this branch to be lighter so that they don't blend in with that shadow color I just put down there. So this one up here is a little tricky, especially if you got a little orange on it like I did mine. But I'm just going to go ahead and streak the tips of it so I know where they are against the building, and work out the rest from there. I'm going to shadow the bottom right here and in between these ones and up that one. And actually, I just had a brand new dark green that I pulled. Dark green. I'm going to go ahead and use that so that you can kind of see what I'm doing without staring at my hand. Oh, this one's a scholar. Just kidding. Now where did I set that little one? The scholar is just a touch lighter and I really need that darker green. So for those of you interested in scholars, scholars are cheaper. They are student grade. They do have the same names as Prismacolor Premiers. As far as coloring, I do enjoy them. They are soft, they are creamy. However, the downfall, some of them have a weird pigment. Like I have a violet one that is like no pigment in it at all. And I'm not sure if that's just a fluke in the set or all violets are like that. The other thing is, as you can tell, color names do not match. So dark green and dark green will not be the same color. Peach, light peach and peach are not the same colors. So just be aware of that, I purchased mine specifically at the time because I was trying to conserve and skate by, and I didn't have quite enough money for a whole other set of Prisma. So I was like, you know what, we're going to get these Premiers, and then on large areas I'll use the scholars, sorry. And that'll help save my Premiers, and they do work well. Just be aware that not all match. So there is my little spiel on the scholars. And they were actually decent. When I bought like a whole 72 set for like 14 bucks or something like that. I have a whole bunch of them. They were cheap when I bought them forever ago. Now, I don't know if it's just pricing or if they go on sale a lot or what, but the price that they want for scholars now, I wouldn't invest in them for that price usually. They are decent. Okay, so here's where now we kind of get a play and streak in some color. Excuse me. Sorry. I was not going to have time to pause. It was coming. Allergy season, is here. It's still snowing outside, but allergy season is here. Okay, so I'm just kind of randomly, where I can see she put in some little lines, just kind of streaking those out, keeping them rough, leafy feeling. Sorry, sliding around a little here. Oh, let's do this one. Any lines, just curious. Okay, so I'm gonna call it good there. Next color, I'm going to go with grass green, I think. Yes, I want a nice green up here. So notice I am kind of leaving a highlight down the center. We can come back and adjust that, brighten it or darken it as we see fit after we get all our colors in. So I'm not doing a whole lot of blending or anything just yet. I'm just putting grass green down and creating that highlight. Getting my long ones here. I am so glad that when I offered to do these color alongs, you know, some Teresa Goodridge ones, every once in a while, I said I'd do like 1 or 2 a month depending on the popularity and requests and whatnot. I'm glad some people reached out and were willing to do some of the older books, because I was a little worried I was going to get bombarded with the newer stuff, like a lot of the gnome and whatnot. So I was glad to see that some people are still like, hey, take it back. There for a minute, I didn't do Teresa right away. I was a little scared of her, so I bought her books, but I didn't color in them. So I have a few that are untouched. My goal is to touch all of my Teresa books. I need to actually go through and like make a list of all her books and do all that, but I haven't yet. I think I'm only missing the Country Summer, and I honestly don't even know why that one of all of them is the one I'm missing, because that one's like right up my alley. Country and landscapes and beach scenes are totally my thing, so not even sure why that one got missed, but if we want to do any out of that one for summer, I will have to get it ordered. Kind of need to do that anyway. Okay, so coming back with my grass green, if I could talk. Again, just creating that highlight in the middle. And quickly, 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Now, mine again is pale green for the highlight, spring green, apple green, whatever you wish here. Now, this is looking really bright. We will tone it down. Again, I just wanted to get my colors in and see how everything was looking before I made too many adjustments. I actually kind of like it like that. So I will come back with my grass green a little, smooth out the harshness. And I might even come in with just a tiny touch of apple green. And some of the lines, I'm just kind of pulling this over. So I'm going to finish up with my pale green first. Kind of got sidetracked there. But like on the smaller ones, like down here, I don't think it's too big a deal, but on these bigger ones, I'm going to have to do a little more blending out of some lines. Okay, again, I didn't tip this branch because I didn't want to lose it in this branch here. So now that we have that branch in, I can kind of take a one step darker so we still get that highlight look. This is avocado, but we're not losing it necessarily. Okay, then I'm going to give it just a tiny bit of green, grass green on the edges still. Just kind of fixing a couple of those spots as I see them real quick like. Okay, so back with that pale green or spring green, whatever green of your choosing. Now there's a little section right there I know I'm going to have to fix. I can see the white where I didn't get all the way in between with my background colors. So I'm not gonna color it in green. I am gonna fix it correctly with my mineral orange. So I'm gonna leave it for now. That is my kitty tearing up her scratching post. It is like all the kitties are sleeping, the kids are quiet, nobody's outside. And then I start talking and the cats are like, oh, it's morning, time to play. And everybody decides to drive the loudest vehicle they have up and down the street. Okay, darkening the tips of this one a little bit. Because I feel like it's not really what I want. Okay, grass green. Girls. Just like kids, those two fight like sisters. One is a little younger and a little more energetic, and the older one is like, no ma'am, I don't want to play with you. She has a little arthritis in her hips, and so when the other one is like trying to chase her, and she growls at her. I kind of feel the same way sometimes. Don't want to play right now. Alright, so we got that nice big tree, and that takes out a big chunk of white off our image. We start getting that nice accomplished feeling. We're getting somewhere. It's looking nice. So again, if you are starting this image and you're a little nervous, try to decide what is making you nervous. Is it the big tree? Is it the building? Is it all of it? And knock that section out first. So like I said, the background was a little intimidating just color-wise to me. So I went ahead and grabbed my oranges and knocked it out first. Figured if I could get the background done, the rest would be easy peasy. My next part that always stumped me was these trees, the foliage. Just because, again, I don't know my foliage well, so this is spring green, and it's just like one tad shade darker than the pale I was using. Just makes a nice blender because I don't want any harshness anywhere. These little spikes up here I missed, I'm going to put in with dark. Okay, now the tree trunk itself is going to be a little tricky because if we do brown, we're going to lose a little bit of our building. If we do green, it might look a little weird. So I'm going to compromise. I'm going to pull a lime green and a bronze to start. And I am going to put my green in. So hold that thought. Don't give up on me yet. So I'm quickly just base layering all of this green, right? This are all the little branches we have here. And once I get all this in, then coming in and touching up and getting that orange in between and really separating these petals and up here becomes a whole lot easier because we're not guessing anymore what's leaf and what's building. So that is another bonus to putting your tree in first. So I am not going over all the green spots, and I actually might pull a darker brown. So give me 1 second here while here's a dark brown. Now again, I used dark brown right here and right here, so I don't want to go heavy with this and start making my tree melt into the background. But I do want to emphasize my shadows a little. I do want to be able to recognize that this is what it is. It is a tree. So I'm just kind of mixing these colors up a little bit here. So like on this one, I'm going to go underside where it would be a little darker, right up into that leaf. Okay. Right here where it's skinny and coming up, right into that leaf. Now make sure you do it on one, you do it on all. So all where they intersect with the leaves, I'm going to do a little bit of brown. That's just because I don't want them to look like they are different trees. Alright, so that is looking good there. 17 minutes. Okay, so for my green trees over here, I'm going to do a little more olive color to kind of go with the purple and the orange, if I could remember my colors here. So I am pulling olive green, lime green, and I'm going to hold off on a third color. I am going to have a third color. I just don't know what I want it to be just yet. I am a little undecided. Actually, I might go avocado. That's grass. So let's see what we can do here. This tree is a different process than this tree, right? This one was nice, big area that we had this nice highlight in the middle that still needs a little blended. Make sure yours is blended good. These are little individual leaves in clumps. So with whatever color you decide to do with your darkest, this one is going to be a little more time consuming. So I won't do a whole ton of them, but I will show you my plan here. I'm going to color around the groups of leaves that I see. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, kind of like on the purple. When we get everything in and blended, it's not going to be a huge difference. But we want some of these leaves to stand out as our brighter color, so they look like they're standing above the rest. Obviously it's going to be darker where there's more bunched together. Okay, so I'm going to do a few of these like this. Now I do mine with one color and work all the way through just because that's how I operate. It works better for me. So if you like to do one, finish one, then move on, more power to you. Do it that way. Again, I am not a professional. I don't have a license. I didn't go to school for this. I just had a lot of comments of, I like your style. Can you show me how you did that? And here we are. Okay. So again, just creating some highlights in this. Nothing, no real technique to it here. Okay. Lime green, or lime peel. I always want to call it lime green. Lime peel. And this is my brightest color. So I'm kind of circular motions over. Now, if you like this without the medium in between color, then you can kind of adjust it and play with it. I can see right here where I missed a couple spots, and get it looking how you want and leave it just like that. And I probably would if I didn't like to make everything so difficult. I'm an overachiever sometimes. I actually think I want to go one darker instead of lighter. So I am going to bring this all the way to the top. I will probably come in and fill this section orange. So yes, I know I missed that. Again, sometimes it's easier to do the foreground before the background, but at the same time, I really liked having my background in first. Took out a lot of white space. Okay. This is my dark green. Sorry about the ding. I will tell you, I have had the weirdest time with phones, and now I have 2 phones going. So I always remember to put the one I'm using to record on Do Not Disturb, but sometimes I forget about the other one. It's like I have one to record and do things on, and one for phone calls, because when I tried to swap over to the phone I bought so that I could record longer videos, which also didn't work out, by the way, it's still 30 minutes and I don't know why. That SIM card did not support 5G, so now I have like one phone that doesn't hold a charge, but I use it for phone calls. And then I have this phone that I use for recording. Yeah, it's just a thing. I am hopefully getting it fixed. I have found a solution, but man, phones can be a process. I think that's why I don't upgrade very often. Like, I was still, before I upgraded, I was still at a S9. I think I've had it for like 6 years or so now. It's much more my speed. Probably why I thought it was the phone that only did 30-minute videos. But okay, so just kind of darkening in some of that. There is those trees. Now again, we got a lot of green, and we don't want our green to all be the same. So we do want to swap up our colors, even if it's just a little. So I'm going to hop down here to this pool, because I feel like if we get this pool area in here, that's another big section of white out of the way, a little less intimidating. So I'm going to go with some nice light colors, and I chose these colors for a few reasons. I have some greens because I feel like these greens are going to reflect into my pool. I have a little bit of blue because it is water. I don't want to go dark blue because I don't feel like it's an ocean or a sea or a lake where it's very deep and dark. So I'm going to go with a nice light chlorine-y feeling color. Also, bringing in some lighter tones, I can transfer it up to this window here and kind of play with them that way as well. So for our pool, my darkest color is light aqua. for now. There's a chance I could change my mind on that. But I'm going to go right along the edge. Now the, what do I want to call it? The urge to want to draw a line down here and up this side is strong because you want, you know, trace the lines, make the square. But the pool does not stop here for the water to be darker like it is here up against the edges. Goodness. It is continued. The picture just stops here, so I am not going to darken that area. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes it's hard to explain my thought process on things. I'm like, that makes sense to me, but I don't know if it's coming out sounding like how I want it to, like it does in my head. So this is light green. And here's where this water gets kind of fun. There is no really rhyme or reason to this water. I'm going to assume, personally, that there's not a sun reflecting anything. So I'm just going to take my colors, and these black lines will disappear. I'm going to white them out. So I'm just going to randomly scribble the rest of my colors. So I'm going to put a little light aqua in some certain spots here. Well, not certain, just some random. Okay, this is true green. And again, just kind of throwing it on there. Now these colors all blend really well together, and if you are doing this, I should probably have said this first before you started scribbling on your paper. If you are doing this, please make sure that all your colors blend well with each other, so that, like, if this color and this color don't blend together or what have you, you just want them all to blend with each other. This can blend with every single one of these. This can blend with every single one of these. Important if you're just going to scribble random colors on your water. Because after we get them all on there, then we take this color, we go over the top of all of them and mush them together. Now, if you feel like that's looking a little greeny, which it might be, I will come back and add some blue. But again, I am not going for an ocean or a lake kind of blue. You know, I'm going for a chlorine-y, shallowish pool green. So, important to remember as well. Now this right here is a little harsh, so I will fix that. But I think the rest looks decent. So I'm just going to blend that one out a little bit. Kind of go over it and blend out any harsh that didn't blend into my lighter color. But again, important why all our colors should blend together so nicely. Now I like this lightish highlight I got built in right there, so I'm going to try not to mess with that too much. That was just a whole lot of scribbling, basically. If you want to lighten some areas, you can bring in a white. I like to use it just to kind of smooth everything over. Okay, and then again, quickly, just to give you an idea, because I know this water is looking. What are you doing? Let me track down my gel pen. While we're here, I had all my stuff in like one nice big glass cup, like colors I was using on a project and white gel pens and things I use a lot. I found these at Walmart. They were clearance to a whole $1. So if your desk needs some organization in its life, you might keep an eye on your clearance aisle. I don't know if that's everywhere, but just a heads up. I am slowly getting there with the look of my desk. I think I am just a naturally, I don't want to say messy, really cluttery No, I just got a lot of stuff that needs a home, and I'm slow on getting it a home. When I first started my desk, so I took those 99-cent black cubes that you could stack, and I put all my markers in them in rainbow color and stacked them up my wall next to me here. They were 98 cents. Now they're like $4 a cube. So it has really slowed down my finishing of the project I had planned. That, and they're like always out of stock. So that doesn't help either. So here, trying to keep my lines nice and smooth, but I'm also trying to hide all that black. I don't want any black lines in my water because this is a nice light pool. So that will kind of be how that comes out when I get all the... And if you feel like the white is too white, you can rub your finger over it. I can't mine yet because it's not dry, but... And it will tame it down just a little so it's not so bright if that bothers you. Now my white pen, because someone will ask me and I won't know. These are 0.8 millimeter, which I find fantastic because they don't seem to clog near as often. And I don't think... I do not have my book, but these are brush mark or brush wick or something along that line. If you need a link, these are my favorite. I originally bought these thinking they were the Arteza pens, and I used them on lots of video and told everybody they were the Arteza pens because I typed them into Amazon as Arteza white pen, and these came up first and I didn't realize it, and I bought them, told everybody they were Arteza forever. They are not. They are still a great pen, so even knowing they aren't Arteza, and they're like $6 for like 6 of them. But yes, so if you need that, I will. Because I know there's lots of people out there that struggle to find, because I did. I tried Uniball, I tried the Moonlight White, Posca. I didn't love any of them. But I definitely feel like the thicker tip is the way to go. Even though it's only like 1 dot bigger. These don't clog or skip near as much, and they go over my wax pencils. Granted, I haven't done a whole lot with oil, so... But they go over my wax pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that for now. I think that gives you a pretty good idea. Alright, so here we are. Here's what we look like all pulled out. Next video will be our last video, and hopefully we will all be pretty close to done, if not done. So I thank you for watching. Questions, comments, please reach out, and I hope to see you for part 4. Bye.